Hi and welcome. I'm Astrid. I am Wattle and Wool, and welcome back to any new listener viewer. Hello, I am Astrid. I live in Western Australia. I am a knit designer and a high school teacher. And for any returning listeners and viewers, hi, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here. Today I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of what I've been making and a lot about what I've been buying. And then I might just round it off with a little bit about me. So I hope you stay, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so first up, I'm actually at home sick. So if I do start coughing, I will try and edit them out. But I'm really sorry if my voice goes or if a cough starts to attack my throat. It's been probably 3 weeks now and I haven't been recovering, which is starting to get really irritating. And yeah, I'm sure you can imagine it has not been fun. So that's okay. I get to be at home. I get to rest, which I haven't done a lot of in a long time. And I get to knit. So I thought I would show you what I've been working on. So I've been posting it all over Instagram, my Meet Me in Italy scarf. I was going to say shawl. No, it's definitely a scarf. It's almost a wrap, to be honest. So this what is left. I'm not quite done. I will be done maybe by the weekend if I keep going at my current rate, which is exciting. So these are hand dyed for me by Anna of Stitchcraft and Wizardry. I absolutely adore everything she does, and I'm so grateful that she is a friend of mine. So yeah, this is hand dyed. I love the complexity of colour, especially in that gold. You can really see it. It's quite overcast today, so it should be a nice amount of light. So this is it so far. So you can see it's got quite a bit of vibrancy and movement and shift and ebbs and flows. This is it's all knit in like one piece side to side. So it will be a scarf that's going to come across like this. It starts with a 447 stitch I-cord cast on, which if you heard me whining a few episodes ago, you would know that I don't like that. So why I did it, I don't know, but I do think that the edge of this is really beautiful in that cast on. It has been reknit a little bit, but I think a good block is just going to gentle it out, like soften it. But yeah, that really beautiful cast on. It makes me so happy. I feel like it really sets up this scarf really nicely. Of course, you can do it without the I-cord cast on, and I'm going to write all the information in the pattern very soon. Like today is when I'm planning on writing it, because I'm up to the very last stretch and I know exactly how it's going to end. So it should be very simple for it to finish up now. This is all brioche. It's 2-color brioche. Now, I have never knit brioche before doing this, so I know it looks impressive and really difficult, but it's not, and I was really surprised. The hardest parts, so for me the hardest part was figuring out to make it look in my head like I wanted it to. This is called Meet Me in Italy, and if you can see, let me try and show you the kind of the peaks that are coming into here. That was based on the Colosseum and the windows or the arches that you can see in the Colosseum. And so the plan was that my housemate Beth and I were going to go to Italy in October in 2020, which obviously isn't going to happen because Australia's borders are closed and I don't think Italy wants visitors. And so we were planning on going, and then it just hasn't happened. But instead, I'm knitting this for her, and so hopefully she can wear it when she does go to the Colosseum with me when it opens up, and she can stand in pride and I'll take beautiful pictures and it'll be about time. I honestly think that if it was if it was definitely going to be in Italy, like if we were going to be in Italy by this October, this would have been done a while ago, but I did procrastinate a little bit, just a little bit. So this is based on the Colosseum, and I wanted it to have these beautiful arches to match the Colosseum arches that are on the building. You know what I mean? And so I had to figure out a way to be able to increase in this way, keep this arch because I really like that look, increase this one so it's evens. So what this is a 5-stitch decrease, and this is a 5-stitch increase. Surprisingly easy. This one here, if you can, so with brioche, if you can knit, purl and yarn over, you're totally fine. That's it. That's all you need to do. If you, for these decreases and increases, if you can slip, knit together and then slip pass over, then you're totally fine for the decreases. And if you can yarn over, you're absolutely fine for the increases. So that's the only skills that you actually need. And then you can make this really amazing and impressive looking scarf. So I am actually looking for testers. I think I've got 2. I've got my beautiful friend Hannah, who I have spoken about before. She lives in Norway and she is one of my biggest supports. I honestly say she's one of the reasons I became a designer, because I made my first jumper and she was like, wow, I want to test that for you. And I'm like, what does testing mean? What is this? And she's like, yeah, like I want to knit it for you. And then when you release it, I've knit it and you know it works. I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's a thing that people do. So she was like my first fan in a really beautiful way. And then straight away, so then I put this up on Instagram and showed the world, I guess, where it's up to and where it's at. I have since finished the second lot of decreases. So it was only up to about here before, and then I've done all of this. And straight away, she started collecting yarn and comparing them to me and saying, which one do you think? Do you think this one or this one? And she's like, maybe I'm going to do this one. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, it's just, I love the support that she gives. And it's just, that's what friendship is, when you give someone support unconditionally. But it makes me so happy that she does it for me. And the second person is the amazing Lexi Knits. So Lexi and I met through a fibre share. I gifted to her, and she was so much fun to shop for and pick for, and I tried to get a few little goodies for her son, and it was just, it was so much fun. I want to say Robin, I think Nelson's her partner, Robin's her son. She has a YouTube podcast up as well. Of course, I'll link down below, and she's amazing. She gets through like a jumper a week? It's insane. She's crazy. And so when she was like, yeah, I'll totally test knit for you, I was like, okay, there is now a fire under my butt. I have to get this done, because if she's going to test knit it for me, she's going to have it done in 3 days or something ridiculous. So I need to make sure that I can get this finished so that she doesn't show me up, because she's incredible and she's just going to Speedy Gonzalez her way through it. So if anyone else would like to be a test knitter, I'm more than happy to welcome you in. So far, this has taken 1.5 so far, but it'll take, probably 1.5 actually, of the of both the colours. So I did the math wrong to Hannah, she had to correct me. That would be, 100 grams is 1 skein. So it's about 150, maybe 175, I might say, just to be on the safe side. I'm wondering, because I know I'm going to have yarn left over, I just know it. I'm wondering if I want to try and do a hat as well to match this. Just, to use up the ends and have some fun with it as well. I would love to see the increases and decreases on the head. I think that'll be really exciting. So definitely this up for testing, and I will see how we go with the hat as well, and then maybe that'll be the second piece. Okay, so the second thing that I have just started working on, and I swatched it up last night and chose my stitch pattern, is working with my hand-dyed yarn that I dyed with avocado. I got this yarn from Knit Crate, and my sparkly fluffy mohair that I got from Latvia when I went in 2018. So I think it might have been the last episode that I talked about the story behind this and how it's wound very confusingly because the poor lady, it was her first day on the job, and this ball winder, it was an electric one, hair floating around everywhere. Sorry, I've just washed my hair. And so, yeah, so the ball winder and her had a disagreement, and I came back in and the shop, it was covered in this basically, and it was kind of crazy. And so she apologized 1,000 times to me, which I was like, dude, it's not your fault. It's the ball winder and there's no issue. And then she gave me heaps more for free, which was absolutely gorgeous. So I have a whole lot of it. I've got more in this little plastic bag in here. And this is more than enough. So I'm trying to be careful because I know if I design this to be released, that mohair is expensive and it's going to be difficult for people to just casually be able to afford it. But yes, I have a lot of this. So if I'm not careful, I would end up just using a lot because I can and not really being practical and thinking about other people. So I need to make sure I've got that in my head. These are 100 gram skeins of fingering, so 400 meters. And this one I've used a little bit and I'll show you in the swatch now. But no, I don't think. No, I'll leave this for something else special. Can see it in the back of my mind and I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's going to connect, but I think this is a better sparkle and fluff connection. So, what is it, you ask? This is going to become a shawl. And I knew as soon as I dyed it up that it was going to become a shawl. I knew that I was very happy with it as a shawl, but I didn't know what the shawl would be. I was going to talk about this a little bit after, but I may as well chuck it in now. I have been finding this year quite difficult, as I'm sure everyone else has. I'm not the only one to experience this or to feel this or to express this. And yeah, it's been kind of crap, just to be honest. Like, it hasn't been good. I'm at a school which is beautiful and the kids are really... they melt their way into your heart. Like, they really connect. I connect to them a lot. But I don't know if it's the school for me. And that's been really difficult for me to be able to figure out if I'm in the right place or not. And I think one of the reasons I'm homesick is actually because I'm just so stressed and I don't know, all my normal coping mechanisms aren't really working. So I don't really know how to say it, but I have been struggling with my mental health a little bit. A bit of a backstory to me. I had a rough childhood, not from any fault of anyone else, just like how I saw and understood things and how I took things on. So I mean, difficult things happened, but then the way that I responded to them probably didn't help myself. And it took me a long time to kind of figure out who I am, where I want to be, who I want to be, and how I want to express myself. If I want to continue being a person who is destructive and angry and bitter and hurts people all the time, or if I actually want to show love and kindness and, you know, lift people up as I rise instead of stepping on their toes to climb over them. And so I had a couple of crazy years where I really had to think about who I am and who I'm going to be. I have some amazing role models in my life. My mum obviously is the most beautiful and incredible person I could ever ask to be in my life. And so many of my friends and family, my sisters are just incredible. So I'm very fortunate in who surrounds me. But the idea of where is home, of who am I, of all that, I think it's a typical 20-year-old or 20-something-year-old thing to struggle with. Being in my 20s, I'm still claiming that. And so it's just been a bit difficult of trying to figure out who I am, what my purpose is, what I'm meant to be doing, if I'm in the right place for it, how to get to the right place if I'm not. And it's just not been easy. I think this year's really thrown things into quite a bit of light for me. And it's been uncomfortable. Along with that, being sick, I don't normally get sick. So I've been sick a lot more often this year. And that's been concerning to me because I think my physical reacts with my mental, and if my mental is not strong, then my physical isn't strong. And right now my mental isn't strong, so my physical is just like falling apart. I'm sure this is not, I'm not in isolation. I'm sure other people have this experience as well. I have actually been seeing my doctor, and I've been talking to several people. I've been delving much deeper into my faith and into church. So I'm taking a lot of steps that are healing me and that are doing the right things for what I need. I'm obviously not a professional, and if you are in the same place as me, I'm not going to tell you to do what I'm doing, because you need to do what's right for you, obviously. But I'm sure you can understand that finding what's right for you is really hard. So that's kind of, it's been where I've been at. So this concept of who am I and where am I meant to be is difficult. I'm on a program where I work for 4 years, and in the 5th year I get paid out for a year. So I salary sacrifice for 4 years basically, which is so cool. And I'm so grateful to the Australian government for letting me do this. This is amazing. And it means that I get this amazing opportunity to go and travel the world. So I'm so excited about this thing that I'm going to do. Basically, I applied for it, and it was halfway through the year, and they're like, no, sorry, school in Australia, it runs from, February to December, and then we have 6 weeks of summer holidays, and we kind of start first or second-ish week of February. And they were basically like, you can't take that time. What if you don't go when you want to go, and you go 6 months later? There's a folk festival in Latvia called the Song and Dance Festival, and it is this incredible celebration of life and joy and freedom and culture and being who they are. And I loved it when I was in 2018. It was this connection to soul that I've never experienced before. I don't know if I've said it on here. I went to both England and to Latvia, and about almost the same time, so 2016 to 17, and then 2018 was in Latvia. 2016-17 Christmas, I was in England, and I met my family, and I had thought that I would connect. I really did. I had this image in my head that, I'd speak English, and I thought I would connect. And I did, don't get me wrong. My cousins and my family are beautiful, wonderful humans, and I adore them with so much of me, but it just felt cold and grey and not like home. And I know everyone else watching is like, well, duh, that's what England is. And you're right, it is. And I did know that going in. But something about, I thought I'd have like a heart connection, and I didn't quite find that. And that surprised me. So then I went to Latvia a year and a half later, and with my family as well. And I did not expect a connection. I mean, I don't speak the language. I might look a little bit Latvian, but that's because I dye my hair. It's, I've got blue eyes naturally, and I've got okay-ish cheekbones. And I've got the shoulders of a Viking lady. But that, for me, it feels like that's where it stops. I love the food, but I love any food. I did not expect to connect. And then I went there, and I stepped out the tarmac, out of the plane, and it was like a piece of my soul jigsaw puzzled its way in and just went, you're home. And I've never experienced anything like that. And it's what I thought I would experience in England, and I didn't. And I got so confused. And then I did in Latvia, and again got quite confused. I know I don't want to live in Latvia. I love the country deeply, but the third world nature of it and the difficulties that Latvians face, I don't think I could cope with, if I'm being completely honest. I think they're in some ways stronger than Australians are for what they have to cope with and deal with. And so, but because I'm a Latvian citizen, it means that I have this amazing opportunity to experience the culture and the life there and live in the European Union for as long as I want. So I decided that the next Song and Dance Festival I would be at. And that happens to be in 2023 in August. So it means that this holiday that I need to bank for with my job needs to coincide with August 2023. And if I had pushed it back like they wanted, it means it would be January of 2024. And I'm sorry, but I'm not waiting. So I just said to them, what if I take the last 6 months off leave without pay? And they're like, yeah, all right, that works. So I have 18 months of holidays coming up in just under 3 years. And I am so excited. Yeah, and I'm so excited about it. So the issue with that is it feels like there's a lot of uncertainty. There's uncertainty with what I'll do over there, what my job will be, how I'm going to earn an income, because while I'll be earning an income for the first 12 months, I won't be for the last 6 months. And if anybody's paid any attention to this episode, this YouTube channel, you will know I'm not great at saving money. And I've got a story about that today as well. So I'm not the strongest with money. So I will need to definitely find a job in that time. And that brings me back into current times where I know I need to work for the education department for the Australian government in the education department for the next 3 years to be able to accrue this holiday. Obviously, I've got no issue with that. The issue is, where do I fit? Who am I and where do I fit? What's my strong suit? So I know that my strong suit is connection, and that's something that I'm really good at. And I do know my stuff when it comes to curriculum and when it comes to pedagogy and teaching. Like, if you guys ever want to talk about teaching with me, hit me up. I'm so keen to always talk about, anything pedagogical because it's such a passion of mine. The problem is, what school do I fit in? I've worked at a really upper class school and I just felt out of place there. I'm at quite a rough school and I'm feeling out of place there. I worked at my old high school and I felt very together there, but maybe that was because I knew everyone and it was already comfortable, which means, when I move on and grow, where else do I go? Yeah. So this concept of who I am, where is home, what do I want, who do I want to be, where do I want to be, what do I want to be doing? It's all a lot. And it's all kind of hit me quite hard this year, which is not the best time, but that's been my time. So what it comes back to is these thoughts have been in my head quite a bit and I haven't been sure where to put them, how to be okay with everything I'm thinking about. I'm so sorry if this has been a long rant about my internal struggles. I hope you can sympathize. Well, you've skipped ahead. I don't know. But that all comes down to swatching. So I'm hiding the good bit because I want to show you the other bit. This is the swatch that I'm doing. I'm going to hold the two yarns together. So I'm holding the mohair and I'm holding the Knit Crate hand dyed together. So I cast on for a garter square, and I hate swatches. Actually, comment down below, do you actually swatch like you're meant to? Because I don't. I never swatch like I'm meant to. I use this as a way to do sample stitches, to see what I like. And then I pretty much measure my gauge from this. I don't actually knit a proper swatch. I wonder if I should. I wonder if that would help me. But yeah, comment below if you do it, because I don't. So I started off with this garter stitch and I liked it, but I remember Anna telling me with her hand-dyed stuff, she was like, I hate it when people just do garter stitch. It doesn't show off the stitch. It doesn't show off the yarn quality effectively, and it could look so much better. And so I have had that in my mind of, if I'm ever going to use yarn, of course I want the dyer's yarn to look its best, and I want my product to look the best. So therefore, is garter really what I want? And it's cozy and mindless, but that's maybe not what I'm looking for. So I started doing, this is called Seersucker. And it's nice, but it wasn't giving me, that amount of joy. Then I did let's see if I can squish this up. I did a section of this thinking, do I want arrows in the mohair? And it's nice, but it's not what I want. It's also quite light, it's very see-through. I mean, my fingers are highlighters at the moment. It's so much fun. But it means that you can see everything through them. And if I'm, wearing this for warmth, that doesn't seem to be very warm. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll do the dot stitch. If you remember, I did this stitch for my friend's baby clothes. and it looked so beautiful. But I just feel like it's maybe not enough. It's not what I want. So I found, because I was trying to figure out the lace, I found this pattern of lace. I'll show it to you in a second. I found this pattern of lace and I was like, yeah, bam, that's it. That's exactly what I want. That is the pattern of lace. It's perfect. And then I didn't know what to do for the texture because I knew I wanted it to be texture and lace, and I didn't want it to be too much brain thinking. I wanted it to be something that you can just mindlessly fall into. And this is what I found. So I've got these like houses or homes as lace, which, considering my whole freak out of where am I, who am I, where do I want to be, what is home, nah, it's kind of fitting, I feel. And then this one here it's like a brick to me. It looks like it's a brick kind of pattern. This has been washed and blocked, so it's a little bit looser and more open, but I kind of like that for this stitch. So there you go. I quite actually like the fabric that I've gotten from this. So I've held one stitch of the mohair and the knit crate yarns together on this one, and this one here is 2 stitches of mohair because the one down here, it was just too light. Like, you can see the difference, you know, it's too thin. I needed it to be thicker. This mohair, it feels to me quite plasticky because I know it's not, like, it's part polyamide. It's definitely not just mohair. So if I was to actually purchase something to do it, I would do it with much nicer mohair, or even a Suri alpaca that's really beautiful and breathable. But I used what I had and I'm still happy with it because, you know, Latvia reminds me of home, all that. It's a whole connection, guys. It's clicking in. So this is going to be a new shawl of my design. I'm not sure how yet. I'm not sure when even, because I've got everything else to get into my needles. But this is probably one of my next projects that will be slowly on the back burner. And yeah, being hair in my mouth. So this is my my newest about to be shawl. I'm gonna do much thicker brick to like kind of wrap to the houses, but I ran out of time and I wanted to block it before I went to bed. Okay, that's all I've been working on. This scarf is huge and it has needed a lot of my time and energy and attention. And so I've been very monogamous, which is very unlike me in knitting world. So I don't like having just one thing on the needles. It actually bores me quite easily because then I feel like I'm just being repetitive and I can only work on that. But I do have to say, because it's like brioche and then shaping and then brioche and then shaping and then brioche and then, yeah. It makes it really interesting and I'm constantly changing it. I'm up to the next bit. Plus it's just so pretty. Like, can you see all the different shades of the gold as well? Huh? I just keep, and the movement. Okay, look at this. See what I mean? It's just, I know the colours are changing, but I have to show you that because I just think it's so beautiful. It's going to have the most amazing drape. Anyway, so the point is, I have been not knitting a lot, which is less good. But that said, I have been shopping. No one is surprised. Mum, please stop watching now because you're going to be so disappointed in me. Love you. Okay. Now, to be fair, this is over more than a month. More than a month. Okay, I'm just going to start pulling things out and showing you what I've got. Sorry, I've been coughing. First up, this is from Jane Marty of Tiny Toadstool Cottage and her amazing yarn subscription yarn of the month club. And this one we're doing fairy tales. So this one is on the frog prints. She always gives us information about it and then books that we can find that are based on it and what we get in it. In case you guys didn't know, she is doing a year-long competition on Instagram for any makes in her yarn club. And yeah, it's really exciting. If you actually have a look at her hashtag, of course I'll put everything down below, but if you have a look at the hashtag on Instagram, there's some amazing, amazing things on there. So Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. I want to be able to record today because my voice hasn't been strong lately, and today's been good. So I'm hoping that it stays with me for the rest of this. Hopefully. Anyway, so it comes in this beautiful bag, and she always gives tea. And I love tea, so that works so well for me. So I've got mint, which is one of my favorite teas. Just anything mint, I love. And this one is golden mango green tea, which I've never tried before. I might actually try it after this because I think, actually, you know what? I'm going to go make some tea now. Let's make some tea. See if this helps my throat. Then I can give you an accurate description of how good this is. So I've got this tea. Just waiting for it to cool a little bit. And then we'll see how it tastes. Fun story about tea and me. When I went to England, I love my family and I loved being with my family, and I had been warned that British love tea, and having a British mum, I always thought I loved tea and that I understood what love of tea was. I really don't. I don't get it to this level. Everywhere I went, it would be constant cups of tea, and more than that, sometimes I put sugar in it. I put sugar in their tea. Ugh. Anyway, so I hit a peak of please stop feeding me milky water. I don't really drink milk, and it just got to a whole new level. So I had to go out and buy a whole packet of mint tea. And so now mint tea reminds me of being in England and being cold and like trying to politely reject endless cups of tea. Okay, so this is green tea with mango and fluff, apparently. I really like the mango. Normally green tea's got that weird grassy flavour behind it, but this has got mango behind it, and I really like that. All right, it is full and hot, so I'm going to put it down, but I will keep drinking it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude by drinking my tea. I hope it's okay. Okay, so getting back to the actual stash acquisition that I was talking about, along with the tea and the information about the books, I got these. So I've got 2 mini skeins, which I'm going to show you. That gold is right up my alley. That is perfect gold for me. It's a little bit less bright. Is it going to show the right colour? It's about accurate. But it's like turmeric. It's just beautiful. It's really pretty. And this soft little pastel-y princess unicorn moment, that's just beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I like it. I think I'm collecting all of my minis, and I'm going to talk to you in a second about what I've done with advent calendars. But I'm collecting all these like little mini skeins, and so I'm wondering if I need to come up with some sort of something to do with these because they're so pretty. All right, in the pile you go. So this one here comes with a little frog charm for the frog prince. You can see that. It's a little frog. And this is just so happy. This, I don't know where Jane gets all her inspiration from. Some of them are very obvious, like the Beauty and the Beast one. And this one, admittedly, I've never seen the Frog Prince or anything like that. I know of it, and I've seen, like, parts of it, but I never sat down and watched it. It wasn't one of my faves. You know, like, Ariel, you know, Little Mermaid. Or even Belle. Who else is my favourite? It's Mulan. Oh, Mulan is everything to me. I want to be as swift as a raging river. Yes. It's amazing. But this is just so happy and bright. It reminds me of Disney and happiness and fun times and spring. And it makes me want to knit socks, even though I hate socks. So Jane, you've done your work so well. This is beautiful and happy, and it's squishy. I really, really, really like it. Where did I put? Excuse me. This is called By the Fountain. And the mini is called Good as Gold, that mini. So this is called By the Fountain Cool. and it's on her silk fingering, 100 grams for 400 meters, in 60 superwash merino, 20 superfine alpaca, and 20% nylon. So I can really feel that that alpaca as well. Like, it's just soft and it feels cozy. I really like it. Really like it. Okay, I know where I'm going to put it down for a second. Have some more tea. I'm so sorry if you can hear me slurping. I hate people slurping. I'm so sorry. And it's really hot. I only just made it. Okay. So the next one is partly to do with that. The end of... So English Astrid. When I went to go pick up that yarn, because I knew it was due and I was excited for it, and I felt this little hard thing in the packet, and I was like, what is going on? And I know that she gives little extras, and I was like, that's a lot of an extra to give. And so I opened up the package, and inside was a postcard that says, home is where the yarn is, which, I mean, obviously. And on the back, Jane had written, hi Astrid, I found this wattle ribbon and thought of you. All the best, Jane. Love, heart. And this ribbon, yes, you can see it. Good. Hang on. Try and block that sun. I always try and block the sun. I know, yeah. But how gorgeous is that? It is so beautiful. Love it. It's just such a sweet gift to show that she's thinking of me and, you know, hopes I'm doing well. And that means a lot. Especially right about now, you know, with everything else I've said. The next is from Knit Crate. I don't even remember when this Knit Crate was, but it's one of the summery one, or the American summer ones, Australian winter ones. And it's linen and beautiful. It's really nice. Which I know is a shock for me to say anything nice about Knit Crate. I have seen the previews for the next one. I'm not so excited. But the one after that looks good. So maybe it's a bi-monthly hit and miss status? I don't know. This is by Wattle and Wool, and it's called Interlock by Knit Crate. This is one of their in-house, in-house products. Dyeing houses. I don't know what mills? No, it's not a mill. Is it a mill? I don't know. One of the in-house companies, things that dye for Knit Crate. So this is in the colorway Haze. It's a really beautiful purple. It's got runs of deeper purple and then lighter purple in it. I really like this. I think it's going to go absolutely perfect for like a summer singlet kind of style top. So this is 34% cotton, 35% linen, 19% lyocell, and 11% nylon. Now, I don't know what lyocell is, but it feels nice. So it's 351 yards for 100 grams. And I don't know how much that is in meters because I can't convert. Is it... Is it that meters are bigger than yards? I don't know. I need to find something that tells me both. Got anything here that tells me both? No idea. Sorry, I don't have the conversions on my head. I need to remember them better. My apologies. But 351 yards for 100 grams. So I've got 700 yards, which I'm sure could make a really easy singlet or even like a short sleeve top. I don't know, but we'll see. So, yeah, it could be fun. I don't know when I would get around to knitting this, but I'm not giving it away because I really like it. It's got little, like, bits, which I know linen does quite a bit. So I don't know if that's a linen thing. This is also, it looks chain plied. So it's got, yeah, it's not like a typical spun yarn. It's actually plied together, which will give it more of a lofty kind of drape, which is fun. So I'm quite excited to try that. So the next bit is some shopping that I did the other day. I went to visit a friend and they live in Mosman Park. So the last time I was in Mosman Park properly, I was doing my practicum to become a teacher, like practicing to be a teacher. And I found this really beautiful yarn store there called Calico and Ivy. And they sell a lot of big brand, more indie stuff. So things like Brooklyn Tweed, Rowan, Hedgehog Fibers, things like that. And so I don't normally shop there because they're expensive. But I was there visiting a friend and I had time and I had money and it was burning a hole in my pocket. So I thought I would give it a go and see what I found. So I walked in, I probably spent 10 minutes in there because any longer and I'm going to be buying the whole store and I didn't have that much money. But these are some of the things that I bought. So I found some Woolfolk yarn, and this is in far. I don't know if you pronounce it differently because it's got a accent. Is that called? No, it's not umlaut. It's the circle accent with a circle accent on the A. I'm just going to call it far because I could just be irritating if I tried to change it. But this is, again, it's a chain ply. I seem to be gravitating or finding chain plies lately. And it's thick and bulky and curvy and gorgeous. And I just really, really, really like it. I think, oh, I've got one more. No, yes, one more. These ones. So I think something about these are going to sing really nicely together. I'm quite happy with with what I got. I'm really liking these autumny kind of winter colours right now, and so I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I was trying to think about it in the store. I just knew I couldn't leave them. It's like a starving baby, you know? You can't just walk past. You have to take it home. And I'm going to feed these to myself. Yeah, the analogy really failed. But yeah, I'm quite a fan of these, and they're beautiful and soft and drapey and gorgeous, and I don't know what to do with them, but I will think of something quick. So, maybe not so quick. I've got a lot of other projects. This is Woolfolk Far. It is 142 yards, so 130 meters, which means meters are less than yards. Okay, now I've got that back in my head. It's 50 grams. It is, where is the 100% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino wool, and 1% of the profit on wool yarn goes back to Ovis 21. So 1% isn't a lot, but I'm sure if they're quite popular, they'll be getting quite a bit back to this Ovis, which is very, very good. So I like supporting sustainable brands or brands that support other charities, as I do. So these are my new yarns, and I'm very happy. They're very squishy. Like, just that. I mean, that's one, guys. Like, oof. If you have knit with these before, what have you made? Because I don't know what to make with them. I've been trying to stalk on Ravelry, but Ravelry, I mean, the issues are still going on and I'm not really spending too much time on Ravelry. So if you have made anything with these, or if you've seen anything made with far before, I would love to know what it is that you've seen. So again, comment down below. So the next ones that I bought. These ones I have been dreaming of for a while. I didn't actually know this brand existed, so I wasn't dreaming of specifically these. But some like crazy yarn blend is always something that I'm curious about, and I really wanted to give it a go. So these are ochre yarn. I'll show you them now. These are ochre yarn. They are 50% Australian merino wool, 40% Tibetan yak, and 10% silk. Oh, like just, oh, wow. They are really warm. I can already feel that, like, if you kind of stick your finger in, they're cool to touch, but warm, like they keep you warm. This would be, I think, a really beautiful shawl. And I'm even thinking it would shine, like, it would stand up really well to maybe a shawl where this is the main color and then this is like a mosaic pattern on the outer. I don't know. I just think it needs to be solid. Like, this isn't a lacy, for me, for my opinion of this, of how I feel about this right now. It could change, you never know. This feels as though it will be a solid colour work. Simple but striking. I don't want to do lace. I might do minimal texture, but I think this is just going to be stockinette and mosaic. Maybe garter and mosaic, whichever one looks better. Probably stockinette though. And yeah, it's just going to be really plain, really simple. Yeah, I don't want it to be too much. Because I think this yarn, the glory in this yarn is the yarn itself. And so I want to shine the yarn itself, not anything else. You know. It is for approximately 400 meters of skein. Of course, they can't always be careful. And it's 100 grams. And we create the finest natural yarns for the modern knitter. Yes, you do. Again, if anyone's ever knit with these or seen anything done with these, I mean, the Tibetan yak makes me so curious. And I really, really, really want to see what I can do with these and what has been done. I haven't actually started researching these ones because straight away the mosaic shawl came into my head and I just thought that was it. So I wasn't going to research to find what someone else had done because I don't want to steal someone else's ideas. I want everything to be authentically mine, obviously. But yeah, so if you have an idea of these ones, let me know. Okay. So I promised you a story along with the 30 other ones I've given you. Oh, much less slurping. I do apologize for before. Okay. So I am fairly obsessed with advent calendars. I love the idea. I just love presents. I mean, if anyone wants to get me a present ever, like I'm never going to say no and I'll always be grateful and happy because presents are amazing. I like to give presents. I often overestimate how much I can give or how fast I can make a gift or whatever, which means that my presents are often delayed. But I love giving presents and watching someone else receive them and feeling joy that they like what I've done. So Anna of Stitchcraft and Wizardry came out with these new a new advent calendar, and it was about maybe June, July-ish when everyone else was releasing theirs as well. And she didn't have a theme. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah. Like, I love anything Anna does. I've got quite a bit of her stuff, behind me and around me. I knit with her stuff all the time. I know she's absolutely exceptional. I want to support Anna. I think she's awesome. So I absolutely volunteered and, said yes, please. And volunteer is the wrong word. I paid for it. But I absolutely went and did it. And I was really, really certain about it. So it's not English. It's not something that I really need to hide. I have not been my best with money all the time. I'm working on it. I am getting there and I'm almost free of all my debt. And I'm working really hard on saving and putting things in savings and making sure I'm putting things aside. So I've been working really hard since getting caught out a few times. Because why learn from just one mistake? So I've worked quite a bit on figuring this out. So when I bought Anna's, I was like, yep, cool, I've put this aside. I'm really good for it. And then I saw Once Upon a Corgi. And she is heavily inspired by Sarah J. Maas or Throne of Glass, and that is one of my favourite authors. So I've got some of my favourite authors. Here is Laurel K. Hamilton, and then just behind me in here, this is all Tamora Pierce. So Tamora Pierce is probably my childhood favourite. Laurel I found a little bit older, and she is definitely for adults. Don't read if you're a child. Do not read. Don't even read. If you don't like gory and there's lots of nakedness and lots of things to do when you're naked. If you don't like that, don't read the book. Okay? Don't even go near it. Just don't. This one though, amazing. Always go near this one. Tamora Pierce is just incredible and I love her. And I probably discovered her when I was a kid. My mum, she's a reason. This book and my mum is the reason I started collecting books, because mum got me just a random book from a secondhand bookstore when I was like 15, because she saw how much I love this series or love this author, and that is what started me on my collecting book journey. And then on this side is Sarah J. Maas at the back, which is very hard to show you in a vertical bookshelf, but at the back is Sarah J. Maas over here, and then at the front is, this side, This is Lynette Noni, and she is an Australian author. She lives in Brisbane. She and Sarah J Maas are good friends, and they are very, very talented writers. Sarah J Maas has a lot of twists and turns that you don't expect that are completely foretold, but you still get surprised. And like at one point the character is like, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And then she does it. And everyone's like, whoa, she did it. Oh my God, that's amazing. And she's like, yeah, I literally told you what I was going to do. But she's an exceptional writer. So Once Upon a Corgi is very inspired by her, as am I. And she has dyed up quite a bit of wool, or skeins, or colorways, that's the word I'm looking for, colorways in inspiration of Sarah J Maas and her different books. So her Advent came out and I was like, oh man, I want it. I really want it. Can I afford it though? No. And so the June one went by and I didn't buy it. And then I kept thinking about it. No, the July one, sorry. She opened it in she previewed it in June and I was like, can't afford it. Then she opened it in July and I was like, still can't afford it. Then she had one in August and I was like, yeah, I'm still struggling, man. Like, I can't really afford it. And then she had one final round that was going to be on the 7th of August. And by then I've been saving a little bit of money and I've been putting it aside. And I was like, you know what? I can afford it. Let's treat yourself. Let's do it. So there's a couple of other skeins of hers that I've been dreaming of. She has this amazing function where you can put things in a shopping cart and then you can walk away and then you log back in and they're still there waiting for you. And I love that idea. So I was doing that. I was playing shopping quite a bit and I laid up my cart and I was like, yeah, no, this is going to be amazing. I'm loving it. Yeah, definitely a fan. I know exactly what I want. I ended up getting quite a bit. So I got 2 skeins, which is going to, I think, be a shawl. I got another few skeins, which is going to be a jumper. It's actually like a thicker yarn or more of like a worsted. I think it's just worsted base with some mohair. And I've already got the jumper done, but I want to re-knit it because I'm not a fan of the neck yet. I don't think it's done. So before I release it and say it's all finished, I want to redo it. So that's going to be for that. I've got another jumper floating in my head that I want to do, and I've got the most perfect yarn coming for that, again from her. So I loaded up my cart, yeah? Like I put a fair bit in, knowing it's going to be, 1 scarf, 2 jumpers, that's 3 garments in there, and then a couple of minis, and then the advent of minis. So all in all, like that's a fair amount. It really is. And like, everything she does is beautiful and amazing and wonderful, and I'm so excited to get it. So there was no regret. There was no doubt. Well, there was one bit of doubt. I live in Australia. And Australia is beautiful. I mean, come. If you're not in Australia, if you're not from here, if you haven't been here, seriously, you have to come visit. It is absolutely beautiful. And one of my biggest issues right now is that I can't get out and just travel and experience it and explore it enough. So definitely come to Australia. If you want to see pretty much every single climate and biome in the world, we've got them. I think, except for the tundra. But apart from that, we've pretty much got them. So come over and hang out. But our currency is not the same as American. And I was getting concerned that maybe her shop would be in Australian dollars, not American. So, that would be in American dollars, not Australian. So I, log on, log off. You get the idea. And then I reached out to her and I was like, hey girl, just, we've had a couple of little Instagram interactions before. And I was like, hey, just checking, just a quick check. It's definitely changing to my local currency, right? Like it's not just an American. And she's like, yeah, it should. If not, when you put your card details in, it should definitely change by then because it'll recognize that you're an Australian. I was like, yeah, see, awesome. I mean, I knew that maybe it might be in American dollars, but I didn't think it would be too bad. It's not that bad. Surely it's not that bad. And I thought it would have automatically changed, and it didn't because she told me it would automatically change, and it didn't. So with all the naivety and braveness? I don't know. With all the naivety and braveness, there we go, of a person who was saved, not very well and not very long. I knew I had enough money to afford what the cart was telling me, which is, just so you know, just a little bit over $500. Oh, actually, it's a bit under 600, just under. And I was like, you know, I really thought on it. I slept on it. I was thinking really hard. But no, I knew it'd be fine. So I pressed confirm. It's in American dollars. Just over $800 later. So praise be to my mum, who has always told me to put my needs first before my wants. So my bills, my food, my rent, everything like that was paid for. But it's been a bit of a stint this fortnight because I am the silly clunch who decided to spend almost $1,000 on yarn when I don't have almost $1,000 to spend on yarn. So there is no more purchasing going on from me for a little bit. Even Knit Crate, I think I'm going to be dodging for a little bit. I did dodge the Malabrigo crate. I don't know if you saw the release, the preview. I'm sure it's beautiful and lovely. It's not for me. And so I'm quite happy to give that one a miss. And I'm going to be a lot more selective in the future of what I do and don't get from them because, yes, we all know my gripes with Knit Crate. But I'm very excited to get my yarn. It's going to come around Christmas where hopefully by then my pain will be forgotten. But for now, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go finish off my green tea and I'm going to wish you all the best. Please do like and subscribe. Share this with your friends if you think that I am someone they would like to watch with my hair floating around. Comment down below if you gauge swatch or if you know anything to do with Woolfolk far yarns, or if you've got any advice for how to figure out who I am and where I'm going. Until then, I'm Astrid and this is Wattle and Wool and thank you so much.